So, are you ready to see the new project car? Ta-da! Oh. Ta-da! I got the car home. It was a big task to get it up on the trailer because 3 out of 4 wheels pretty much locked up. But we managed by using the hand winch and some boards and different kind of stuff. Now comes the time to get it down. That will be even worse because I have nothing to pull on inside the garage. I have just tried to take off the wheels and do the normal procedure of hammering on the drums to get them to release, but they are completely stuck. It won't work. So yeah, I don't really know how to get it down just yet. Another thing is I parked the car yesterday. Now all the doors are frozen. I think this weather fits this car pretty well, actually. It seems to go together. And yes, it is a Skoda. And I'm seriously surprised that so many of you actually guessed the car. I think at least 5 people actually guessed that it was a Skoda, and I think many of you even guessed the right model of Skoda. I got a couple of guesses for the Skoda Estelle. This is not the Estelle, but at the same time it is, because the Estelle is the 105 in the UK, so it's the same car, but this is not an Estelle, it's a 105S actually. And I have to admit that I thought it would be impossible to guess it, because yeah, there is a lot of cars with rear-wheel drive. Of course, not a lot with rear-wheel drive and 4 doors, but still, I was pretty amazed. I think the first guess was a Fiat 126, but I don't believe you can get it in a 4-door. I'm actually a bit unsure about that, but that was pretty close. The next guess was a Skoda, and from there on out, it was pretty much only Skodas you guessed for. As I mentioned in the last video, I got this car through a swap. I have no money involved in this trade. I traded for the Suzuki FZ50 and got this car. I just couldn't say no because this is too much fun. As I also told you in the previous video, I didn't really look at this car very much because it was covered in snow, and also because I didn't have to spend any money. I thought it would be a fun gamble to just go ahead and see what happens. So I went to look at it, checked it a bit for rust in the at the corners, but didn't do much more. I didn't even check if the engine actually could turn, and I should have done that. But on the other hand, if the engine is stuck, it's a fun challenge to try to free it up. And as I've said many times before, the project part and wrenching in the garage is what I enjoy the most. I like driving the cars, I really do, but it's the wrenching part and getting stuff to work and the challenges, that's the thing I really like. So no matter what, it's going to be fun this. I do know getting parts to this is going to be a bit hard because, yeah, I checked the normal suppliers and they don't have a lot of parts for this. Getting this car to my garage was a big challenge. I had a manual wrench on the trailer. There was a tractor, and we did plan to pull it up on the trailer with the tractor. But unfortunately, and I think mostly due to the extreme cold weather, the battery was not healthy enough to start the tractor. So we couldn't do that. So we ended up using only the wrench, which was extremely hard because 3 out of 4 wheels were locked. We got one of the front wheels unstuck. Both the right rear and the right front was completely stuck. And all the tricks was tried with a big hammer and all that. They are stuck. So what we did was to lift the car up in one side and put boards underneath the wheels, and then luckily there was snow. We could pull it very slowly up on the trailer and then get it back. Getting it off the trailer was an even bigger challenge. I had nothing to pull in because I couldn't pull in anything in the garage or anything like that. So I had to use a lot of fiddling about, putting it on a rolling jack and all sorts of things. It took forever to get this car into the garage, but at long last, it's inside the garage. And I think this is the right time to actually take a look at what I have gotten myself into. And the story is that this car has been in the same family for all its life. I was told that the car has done 50,000 kilometers only. I don't know if that is true, and it's difficult to actually be sure of, because the speedometer on old cars like this only goes to 100,000 kilometers. But I think we maybe can get a clue if that's true by looking at the car and the wear and so on. I don't really know what this car needs. I do know that the rear wheels, right rear wheel are locked, and the front right wheel are also locked. And the owner told me that, and I think that's the reason they took it off the road, is that the clutch was on its way out. I don't really know what that means, because it's a bit weird that a car with only 50,000 kilometers got a worn out clutch. But on the other hand, you can wear a clutch out extremely quickly by bad driving or misadjusted clutch or something like that. But it could also just be a misadjusted clutch. I don't know how this system works on this car, but maybe I have to change the clutch on this car. No biggie. We got this mud flap, which is really cool. Unfortunately, it was rotten and fell off on the other side, so I need a new one of those, because I really need to have them on. They look nice. And again, cars in Denmark like to rot really quickly, and a Skoda is no exception. One of the big reasons there are not many of these around is because of rust. And we do have rust in the wheel arches, but it's actually not that bad. But of course there is some. It looks pretty solid actually in the rear wheel arch in here. Normally I would actually have suspected that it was completely rotten in here, but it's not apparently. Another place cars like to go in my country is right in here. Let me get a screwdriver. Right in here is a very common place for rot, because all of this mud that is wet forever. Wow. I don't see any rust. This is, if it is like this all the way around, it's almost too good to be true. Wow, that surprises me. This part of the car I saw when looking at it the first time, and I was surprised how well the rockers were on this car, because there is rust, but it doesn't seem that bad. We're going to put the car on a lift at a later date, but not before it's running. So let's take a look at what we can see from the side. This is really, really good. I think I did a very good trade on this car actually. Wow, that's amazing. I could end up having to do some rust repairs on the rockers right there. All the paint has been stripped off. Paint is flaking off, but there's actually no holes in here, which is pretty amazing. I'm quite amazed that I cannot poke this screwdriver through anywhere. Let's continue on. The front wheel wing is the same thing. Some bubbling in the but actually the edges is still there. Normally it will be completely rusted apart. I do believe we have to change the brake lines and hoses. I just found something that looked like a hole, but it seems to be solid underneath. This is completely amazing. The wheel seems to be very old, made in Czechoslovakia. So these wheels are for Czechoslovakia, and the car is from Czechoslovakia. So I wonder if these are the original from new tires. Maybe some of you guys know, but I really think these are the original tires from 1986, which is a good indication that this car has only done 50,000 kilometers. We got some stickers in the window, maybe that can tell us something. This sticker says Skoda, 6 years of rust proving guarantee. I don't think that's valid anymore. And then this one says that tires and lights on this car has been checked 1989. And this is the same, also a check, light check from 1993. Here we have the front of the car. For some reason, this car really reminds me of rally. And they are used a lot in rallies. But it's not a very powerful car, not at all. But it got some kind of raciness to it. I don't really know what it is. But and the other side seems to be pretty much the same. Let's try to see if we can see from underneath. Again, it's going to be a lot easier when the car is running. The calipers really look bad. I hope to be able to rebuild them. But yeah, let's take that one later. And here we have a radiator. It is missing the spare tire. Apparently, I think it's supposed to be located here. But there is none. No rust to speak of. It is really amazing. It's this solid. This is a bit of a time capsule, actually. Here we have the rear end. I really like the rear end as well. Both the front and the rear on these cars are really a nice design, I think. I like the rear lights and the little spoiler and the air vents to let the hot air out, because yeah, the engine is inside of there. Whoop! There is a hinge over there. So if we just open it all the way, like that, and it locks itself in. No need of any gas struts or anything. This is just mechanically and very long lasting. And this is a reason, one of the reasons why I really like these cars from the Eastern blocks, because they are really made to last and are really made to be fixed with your own hands. And that, yeah, I like that. But what do we have in here? What is this? A lunch box, maybe. Ah, not that exciting, but it's lights and some grommets for something. Ah, the missing wheel trim, at least for one wheel, because I think they are missing on both of the rear wheels. But we have one here. This must be the triangle. And then there is a wonderful carpet down here, which is still pretty frozen. And that's a good sign, actually, because it tells me that the owner really liked the car and tried to protect stuff by putting a carpet in it. Because there is a carpet from the factory, actually, so there's no real reason. But I have a feeling that cars from this era and owners from this era actually really enjoyed taking care of their cars and their stuff in general, and try to protect it and keep it as new as for as long as possible. I can see inside the car that the car actually got seat covers on it, and sometimes it's because the seat underneath is completely ripped, but other times it's people who really enjoy taking care of their cars that put the covers on top of perfect seats to keep the seats perfect for as long as possible. Some people even wrap their furniture in plastic for the same reason. And if that's the case, I'm really lucky. If the seats underneath the covers are like new, then I would be so happy. Is there anything else in here? I don't see any rust, and that is really nice. Then we have a bottle of some sort right here. It must be, I wonder if it's brake. Yeah, of course it's for the brake. It's the brake master that is down underneath this piece of plastic trim thingy. You can see something in there. It actually looks like it got a brake booster. I didn't think it would have that, but it looks like, wow, it looks brand new. It looks brand new in here. Can you see the lines? It looks brand new. Wow, that is amazing. Let's take a look at the inside. So here we have it. Wow. This car seems to be extremely dirty, but really almost like new underneath all the dirt. I haven't found a service manual or anything, unfortunately. I really hope to do, but I don't think. Maybe underneath the seats. No. Nothing seems to be down here. Let's take a look at one of the bad areas on all cars from Denmark, underneath the floor mats, which are made of rubber, which is pretty nice. It's a bit tractory. Wow, there's flamingo underneath here. Is that original? Wow. This is too good to be true. Yes, I think this is actually original because it's cut to size up here. Looks good. I think it's time to find out if these seats are completely worn out or someone has been protecting them from new with seat covers. I really hope they are. Oh. There are no rips or no tears in this. Of course, it's the other side that sees most wear. But yeah, it's dirty, but nothing a vacuum cleaner can't solve. And yes, it is extremely dirty, mainly because of the foam on the seat covers, but they seem brand new. I think this car has been bought, and then the owner took it back home and then put covers on it. I don't think anyone has really sat in these seats. Oh, a nice old radio. Must be original as well. Philips though. I don't know if Skoda went with Philips, but they could. And then some simple heater controls. This must be hazard light. Yeah. And then fan speed and the temperature controllers and a ashtray maybe. Yeps. I think this car has been a non-smoker. Nice. Here we have the gear stick. Oh, and an oil change sticker. Texaco motor oil. The oil has been changed at 49,406 kilometers. It's in 97. That's old oil. 50,743. That's 1,000 kilometers later. That actually adds up pretty nice. I think this car has only done that from new. That is amazing. And also take a look, I just saw this. The pedals have almost no wear on them, so that makes me think that 50,000 is very realistic, because these rubbers tend to be worn down like tires from your feet when pressing and holding your foot on them. They have not seen a lot of action, that's for sure. It looks to be the same story. There's a wiper blade stuck underneath here. A brand spanking new one. Bonus. This seat looks just as good apparently. I think the inside of this car is going to look like a brand new car when I'm finished with it. That's amazing. Wow. And a pretty fun looking instrument. I like the way that 20 is all the way down there. And then if you really go for it, we have 160 all the way over here. It's for going downhill, I think. don't expect this car to be a very quick one. I think it's around 46 horsepower or something like that. So last thing to check in this video must be, and that's pretty fun. Take a look at this. The writing is upside down. It's readable from the other side, but not from the outside. Is it like that all the way around? No, on this it's fitted the right way. I wonder if it's the same size for all windows. So you can use front windows for the rear window. It would be a very do-it-yourself and long-lasting thing to do to a car, to have the same windows all around. I think that's the case. Actually, it really looks to be the same shape. And then maybe they have fitted some of the glasses the wrong way, or maybe that was just the way to do it, or they did it. On this side, it's fitted the right way out. This is also wrong. That's weird. Maybe the windows has been changed at some point, or maybe the factory just didn't really care about details like that. I don't know. Let's try to see if there is any engine. This lever should open to the machine room. No visual rust underneath the jack. Again, that's pretty amazing. Here we have the engine. I wonder if there's any oil in it still from 97. There is, and it's not looking very dirty. When this oil was put into this engine, it was a very different world than it is now. And everything looks very dirty, but still looks very unused and new. I think a lot of this is just dirt, and we can clean it up very nicely. Yeah, take a look at this. It looks very nice. Also this, I'm just so used to everything being extremely rusty on an old car, on my old cars. But this is not bad. It's really not looking very bad. It looks really good, actually. Down here we have the fuel pump. And that little lever down there is actually a primer. So it's possible to prime it, and it got an old school fuel filter as well with a ball underneath it. And an original Skoda oil filter. This car has never been wrenched on by a non-mechanic, I think. Into the engine. Yeah, nothing much can be seen down there, but it seems really clean. I wonder if I can turn the engine by hand. That would be maybe a bit too amazing. Well, we're gonna save that for a later date. The next video will most likely be Will It Run video, so I'm gonna save that for later. So this was the new project, the new secret project, and I'm over the moon about this car. It's so much better than I could have dreamed of. I can't wait to clean it up, especially the inside, because it's going to look like a new car, I think. And I really hope that the engine is going to run. And yeah, I most likely need some new tires, because I think those old Czechoslovakian tires are not MOT ready, at least. But thank you for watching. Hopefully soon there will be a video on this car where we try to get it to run. See you in the next one.